Hey, what's going on? If we haven't met yet, my name is Gabe Strom. Good to meet you, virtual handshake. Hey, I wanted to do a little social experiment today with you, and I get a lot of questions on Twitter and emails all the time. What's the best way to build up my following? I'm in this business, or I'm a musician, or whatever, and I want to build up a following and turn social media contacts into business, and yada 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 yada. But before we answer that question, I thought it'd be cool to help give you some insight into the mindset of people that are on social media, because it's totally different than people that are on Google looking for a particular topic. The mindset's totally different, and I see a lot of people doing social media wrong, turning people off. They're trying to advertise, they're trying to market. People hate that word market. They're trying to sell stuff, and they're just turning people off left and right, and they're getting frustrated, and they think, this thing doesn't work. How do I do this? So I wanted to help to give you an insight of, number one, how to avoid that, and number two, as to why people are here. Because if you can understand why people are on Twitter, you can understand the maybe better way to speak to them and a better way to communicate your message to turn them into raving fans and followers, and raving fans and followers into customers, and yada 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 onto the dream story, right? So here's the little experiment. We've all seen Twitter explode. It's like 40 million people now. 2009 was the tipping point, and we saw this thing explode. So why in the world would 40 million people join this little website where you can talk about what you're doing? It sounds so ridiculous, right? Here's the experiment. I want to hear from you. I want your opinion as to why you joined Twitter. And the only way this experiment's going to work is if you don't read the blog post first, whether you're watching this on YouTube or watching this on, trying to use which hand here, on Facebook or watching it on the blog. Answer that question. Why are you on Twitter? Why are you in social media? After you've done that, go through and read the comments below that to find out what other people are saying and why they're on Twitter and why they're in social media. And I think this might be kind of eye-opening for a lot of you who are trying to market and trying to advertise out there into the mindset of why people are here. And I'll start off because I was at a barbecue, real quick story. I was at a barbecue last night with some friends out in Algonquin, Illinois, over by Chicago, and I had a friend who was like the most anti-technology guy that I know, and he said he finally joined Twitter. He's like, hey Gabe, he's like, I joined Twitter finally. I'm like, dude, why in the world would you join Twitter? Why were you inspired to? And he gave me this reason, how he got some messages from people, and I think it was basically social proof. And then he said, yeah, I looked you up and I saw you had this big following. He's like, you were posting like a madman. That's what he said. He's like, you post like a madman. He's like, why are you spending your time doing that? Isn't it a waste of your time? So, I went on to explain to him, well, I see this window of opportunity right now where average people can build up influence and build up a following, and anytime you can get a whole bunch of people to look at anything, there's big dollars in that kind of a thing. I mean, you look at Gary Vee, he's got 90,000 unique views a day on his wine blog, he got picked up for a 7-figure book deal, fun things like that, right? So I explained to him about the influence model, and we'll talk about that more in a later video. And so I explained to him real simply that the two reasons that I joined Twitter was, one, to make friends, to just befriend and meet a lot of like-minded people, because I've met some awesome people that I never would have connected with otherwise. And number two reason why I joined Twitter was to share great stuff, just to give away lots of free content. That's my marketing strategy. My marketing strategy in social media on Twitter is just to give away free stuff. And he's like, that sounds ridiculous. How are you ever going to make any money with that? So that's a whole other topic, and we went on to talk for a while. But that's my answer to the question. I'll start this discussion off. That's why I did it. I want to hear from you, though. And the way this experiment's going to work is if you post your comment first, and after you post your comment, that way you won't be biased, go through and read everyone else's comments below that, and it'll help give you some insight into why people are here, why your target audience is here. And once you understand why people are following you and what they're here, you can just give them lots of great free stuff, and that's part of the influence model that we'll talk about later on in another video. So hope this was valuable. If you see this on YouTube, do me a favor and comment on the video. Maybe you liked it, maybe you hated it, I don't really care, and put a little comment below, and do that on Facebook and the blog and everything else. And I'm kind of curious. This could be kind of fun, so glad we could do this together. And if you like these kind of videos, give me an idea. Maybe we could do some more kind of experiments like this, because I think this social media stuff's fun. So, all right, have a killer day. We'll talk to you soon.